All right, guys, Adam Trigger here. It's time for Friday's edition of On the Clock. Yesterday, weird day because I think everything I gave out on this show lost. But my one client play was Merrimack plus 20.5, about as easy of a winner as you can get. So I'll be just going to keep it real with you. That's like I'll trade the free pick losers for the client play winner any day of the week. But the goal is to win them all and try to give out winning info, which we've done for the most part on here. Started this show last week. We're trying to do it every day. So we need one of those 3-in-1 days like we had the first 2 days of doing the show last week. And we'll get right into it. When you hear the buzzer, that means it's time to move on. And this might be the last day for the buzzer. I'm going to head out. I'm going to be at the mall a little bit later today, and I'm going to look for a more sufficient clock for my show. But we'll see if I find one or not. But let's jump right into it. We are starting with what I consider the marquee matchup of the day, and I don't think anyone's going to argue with me here. It's the only matchup between two ranked teams, and that's Dayton and Cincinnati. As we get the timer set here, that's Dayton and Cincinnati down at the Heritage Bank Center in Cincinnati, Ohio. So first thing we'll point out, that's a neutral floor. That's downtown. Cincinnati plays on campus at Fifth Third Arena. I've been there. It's a phenomenal venue. This is not at their home venue. It's where their ECHL hockey team plays. It's a big arena, though, like 18,000 seats. Probably get Dayton has such a good fan base that I imagine this will really, truly be like more of a neutral court type venue. They probably travel well and will scoop up a bunch of the tickets for this game, especially with the magnitude of this game. Cincinnati really needs a big win, in my opinion. I don't necessarily think that means they're going to get it, but this is a big game for them. They just, they lost to Villanova. They haven't really had like the huge marquee non-conference win. They did beat Xavier last weekend, which is nice. But they need this one. That being said, I gotta be honest. I was wrong about Dayton. I thought this team was going to struggle, not having Derod Holmes, who was like their do-it-all, both ends of the floor, best scorer, best defender. I thought they would take a step back, but this team has been great. They don't turn the ball over. They're hitting 50% of their shots from the field. They're very efficient on offense, good floor spacing, fifth in the country in assist to turnover ratio. Malachi Smith didn't play at all last year, so getting him back in the mix has been big. Dayton's just that they're a better basketball team. They're a better basketball team than I thought they were going to be this year. I think it's worth noting that Dan Skilling's back will help Cincinnati, but this is still a neutral floor. 3.5 points kind of feels like too many. I think Dayton is the real deal. I've bumped them way up in my A10 rankings, and I will side with them for argument's sake here. Not going to make my client card, but I do lean toward as my computer starts to die because I don't have it plugged in. I do lean toward Dayton plus the points. All right, moving on. So you're going to get two totals today. The poll I put up was for St. John's Providence, and we're going to do the viewer's choice game next. But it just so happens that I don't really love a side here, and I actually do have an opinion on the total. So this would also probably be the second other marquee game choice of the night. Big East Conference game. St. John's traveling to Providence. St. John's, of course, starting to emerge as one of the better teams in the league. Providence is not typically this big of an underdog at home. So I guess I understand making a case for Providence maybe being a live dog. They've done well in this matchup at home in the past. I think it's worth noting that the students won't be there. And I think I think this is a venue where like they have such a great, crazy student section. Like taking the students out of the mix definitely has me bump their home court down a little bit. But I think the key thing I think is going to happen here, Providence has been really sloppy with the basketball. They turn the ball over. Kim English has been talking about turnover issues since the beginning of the season. And that really concerns me against the St. John's team that's tenacious defensively, great at creating live ball steals that turn into points on the other end. And that's the concern for me for Providence here. That being said, I wouldn't be surprised if St. John's maybe has a little bit of shooting regression. maybe a little bit of a dud performance in a building that they've struggled in the past. St. John's last 3 games, 88 against Kansas State, 99 against Bryant, 89 against DePaul. I like the St. John's team, but they're not going to continue to score 90 plus against decent Big East opponents. I think they take a little bit of a step back scoring here. And so I like the under in St. John's and Providence. And that brings us to our next total, which will be the total of the day. I'm going to head to Denton, Texas. Very intriguing game to me. App State, North Texas, 90 seconds on the clock. I think this one goes over. I think the knee-jerk reaction here is to say North Texas, great defensively, plays slow. App State will play slow. So it's going to go under. And that just hasn't really fully been the case, especially in games where North Texas is having success. And I think the fact that they're a 12-point favorite here suggests that they might have some success here. When they're having some offensive success, they hit threes and they get to the foul line. I just went to a North Texas game 2 weeks ago down at High Point. There were 64 foul shots in that game. And North Texas went 22 of 27 from the line. And like I said, they're also a solid 3-point shooting team. So while the pace suggests that this one is going to play under, I think we might see an efficiency over of sorts here, especially if this creeps out near the spread. It's a 12-point spread. If this gets into the 8-9 point range, especially if North Texas is leading, I think you see them attempt a fair number of free throws, and that's a place they can score us from the foul line. Appalachian State's a better rebounding team. I think they're going to maybe be able to clean up some misses and get buckets that way. CJ Huntley, 6'11" center, shooting 51.4% from the field. I think he gets his 15 points or so. I just think there's enough here to get this one into the 120s. And with this line where it is, that's really all you need. I mean, this total is so low at 123. I think you're going to hear a lot of people say first 1 to 60 wins, and that might be the case. But I think the only way this stays under is if this is like a 2-point game where both teams are trying to get defensive stops at the end. That's not how I see it. I think North Texas probably pulls away, which means free throws and which means over the 123.5. All right, time for boots on the ground. My boots will not be on the ground for this game, even though I probably could make it to this one if I really wanted to. Down in downtown Albany, my alma mater, Siena, playing Holy Cross. Should be a good crowd tonight, though. A lot of people don't understand that, like, Siena doesn't get like the December lull. These are actually some of their better attended games because it's typically alumni and families that go to Siena games anyway. And then you get a lot of kids that are home on break. This will be like the one game they go to with their families. So I expect a great crowd in attendance downtown Albany tonight. And this, I think Siena bounces back from their ugly loss to St. Bonaventure earlier this week. I don't think that's that bad of a loss. I just think the Bonnies are really, really good this year. Played tremendous defense. Siena couldn't do anything offensively. But Siena defensively, we talked the under was our total of the day on Tuesday for the show. It went under easily, and Siena defended just fine. St. Bonaventure, 4 of 20 from three-point range in that game. And I think that's where Siena probably has an edge here. Holy Cross just pulled an upset of Quinnipiac, where they went 14 from 29 from 3. And that's really how Holy Cross can score this year. They have some shooters that I didn't know they had. A very young team, a lot of freshmen and sophomore. They have some guys that can shoot the ball, but Siena's defense has been pretty solid, especially their perimeter defense. Like I said, 4 for 20 for the Bonnies from 3. Siena's going to slow this game down, which means Holy Cross is going to have to run some half-court offense to get these open 3-point shots. So I think this could be a spot where Siena maybe blows them out if they're getting stops and they pull away in this game. I'm considering laying the 5.5 as a client play. I have not done it yet because I think my numbers kind of come out in that range. But for argument's sake, we'll go Siena minus 5.5 for our pick for the show. But I'm also going to use them for parlay of the day. So parlay of the day yesterday, a very annoying loss. Norfolk State wins easily, never in doubt. And South Dakota blows a pretty sizable lead to a very bad Utah Tech team. to blow up parlay of the day. So what we'll try to come back with it. Like I said, I think they're 2-3 maybe so far, but a couple plus money winners. And we're going to go for plus money again today. I'm going to use the Siena money line. That I'm pretty confident in. I think this is a really favorable matchup for a Siena team that's going to get into the half court, slow the game down, and I think they can operate in the half court against a Holy Cross defense that's not very good. Also, I think they're going to limit Holy Cross's ability to score from three. I really like Siena to win, and I think I'm going to pair them with St. Peter's. That money line parlay comes out to about plus 140. Siena and St. Peter's, and I don't really care for this Delaware team. They've now played back-to-back games against non-D1s. I don't know why a team like Delaware would be playing a team not from Division I. That's something I would love to get out of college basketball. There's 364 teams in Division I college basketball. Find someone else to play that's in D1. There's no reason a team like Delaware should be playing teams not from Division I, but they did. Now they have 2 wins. The last time we saw them play an actual opponent, they were blown out by Duquesne. Delaware lost a lot from last year. I don't love the way they handle the ball. They did have some nice results early, but this is a team that I've been kind of looking to fade. And I think St. Peter's is the team that might hand them another loss. So for moneyline parlay, we'll go St. Peter's moneyline to Siena moneyline. It comes out plus 140. And I think that's a pretty strong parlay bet today. I actually think St. Peter's and Siena are both good bets against the spread as well. 2 plays that I'm still considering for my client card today. So I certainly love both of those money lines paired together. Get about plus 140 for that. That's Friday on the clock. Make sure you like and subscribe to the WagerTalk YouTube channel where you can find this show just about every day. And head on over to WagerTalk.com. All of my plays. Haven't played anything yet for Friday, but I likely will. And you can find all of my plays there all day, every day. Hope everyone has a great Friday. Cash your tickets. And I'll see you guys early tomorrow morning for a Saturday edition of On the Clock, a great slate. And we'll have that up early to get you ready for Saturday hoops. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Everyone have a great night.